I'm the Prez. We've got Kelly Stewart, who actually is the host of this show, but I don't stop talking. It's our NFL presidential address. Kelly just came back from the gym, people, so she's got a shine today. Enjoy.
A shine and some dirty hair, but we're here. It's week 14, Prez. We've been doing this show for 14 weeks. And we've gotten some really good comments. We got some really shitty comments, but that's just because some people are bored. But really excited. I can't believe it's week 14. I'm floored that football season's went by this fast.
Kel, please tell me you actually looked at some of the comments and picked some people to give some wager bucks to, or did you forget?
I did not forget. I told you my favorite comment was actually the guy on Twitter. And I liked his comment and I tagged you in it and then I forgot what he said. It was absolutely epic. But right now I'm going to go through and I'm going to tell you guys which ones I really do like as far as this goes. And we'll give some people some wager bucks. But I'm going to let us get started because I know you've got things to do today. I've got things to do today. So I'll go through in the middle of the show and just be like, hey, Prez, these are my 3 favorite comments.
Okay, and you're going to do that while I'm droning on. Kelly,
exactly.
last
Nobody
week...
wants to hear me talk, remember? The guy on Twitter who said, Kelly, talk less.
Yeah, Kelly, talk less. I don't think our listeners want that, Kel. Listen, really quick. I told everybody I would give some wager bucks out to anyone who knew what I thought was the best NFL game ever played. There were 4 or 5 people who did get the answer correct. You 4, please email me at prez@wagertalk.com. Email me your username on YouTube so I can verify as well. Make sure to set up an account at WagerTalk.com and send me your username there, and I will give you each $50 worth of wager bucks. Kelly, the game was Miami, San Diego, playoff game, 81. Kellen Winslow, 2 blocked field goals, the hook and ladder, the greatest game of all time.
I knew you were going to pick a game before I was born, but I've heard really good stories about that game. So now I'm going to have to go on YouTube and rewatch it somehow.
It was absolutely epic. And no, there were some good guesses. The Buffalo comeback against Tennessee. The Patriots
Ooh,
comeback.
That was a good one.
The Patriots comeback against Atlanta in the Super Bowl. But the thing is, this wasn't about the best comeback. This was about the best game, start to finish. And, man.
And 4 people knew this was your favorite game. That's pretty great.
Well, because it is the best game ever played in the NFL. Facts are facts.
Here's a really good comment I didn't see the other day. Kelly can't keep her eyes open when the Prez is speaking for more than 2 minutes. Listen.
Hey, what can I say? I've got a tendency to make women close their eyes.
Oh my God. But it's more so depending on if I got up, went to the gym, had pre-workout and or coffee and or how exhausted I am and how much work I did before. So in Prez's defense, it has nothing to do with him. It just has to do with my own personal self. But that one's pretty funny.
Kel, I
Yes.
like the way you've matched your nail polish to your shirt.
I mean, I definitely didn't mean to. But Prez notices those kind of things. It's very, very odd. Most men don't notice if you do your hair different or if whatever. But you always notice stuff like that. I think it's pretty funny.
Well, I mean, listen, I'm an observant man. Plus, you did move your nails up, and it was pretty easy to notice.
Prez, you want to see something funny? So today, have you ever? I don't know what they call it at the gym where you go elbows to hands. They're like those. They're like a core exercise.
Yeah, it's a core.
Waiting for someone to see both of these and just destroy me on Twitter. Look how my poor elbows have.
But didn't you do it on a mat?
I had a long sleeve shirt on, so I didn't think, normally, yes, I would do it on a mat, but today I did not, and I'm like, oh my God, someone is going to see my elbows this week and just be like, wow, what was she doing?
Yeah, because I'm sure men really care about your elbows, Kelly.
I was insinuating they're going to say something dirty-minded, but that's all.
I won my play last night. I had the under in Washington and Philadelphia. Holy crap, finally I got some luck.
Thank you, Mark Sanchez.
Yeah, well, hey, listen, he did throw an interception in the wrong place too, so it
God,
was.
he sucks.
It
I had
wasn't.
the Redskins +6, and I was
I
feeling
would.
great about it.
I would say thank you, Josh Norman, because that interception in the end zone was really the key to my under.
That's true.
Sunday,
And that nice goal line stop by the Redskins defense was great too.
yeah, it didn't matter as much in the total because ultimately Philadelphia stopped them and then marched down the field a minute later and got the touchdown anyway. But yeah, look, finally got some luck. I mean, I was on the over in the Houston game on Sunday, and I mean, that game was ridiculous. There were 3 touchdowns turned back, 2 from a holding call. One of the holding calls was on the other side of the play. And then you had that idiot drop the ball, fumble the ball going in for a touchdown. You know, it's actually unbelievable. In the last 2 weeks, I've had 2 90-yard touchdown runs go against me. 90-yard touchdown runs. And then I've had a missed fumble on a punt go against me in the Seattle under on Sunday. And I've also had 2 guys, Carolina last week and Cleveland this week, going in for a touchdown, fumble the ball. Anyway.
I think that's one of my biggest beefs about betting totals, Prez, is that you can handicap a game right. You can have an absolute lock on an under and something stupid happens or a non-PI call or a PI call that doesn't go your way. And next thing you know, the whole momentum changes. And that's why, I mean, I do a couple other different shows. And I said that the other day. I'm like, listen, I took the under in a college game. I go, and it was the most terrifying thing I've ever done in my life. In a Big 12 under, I mean, the line was too high, but it could have easily went over. I mean, there was multiple times where it gets sketchy. And that's, I got to give you got cojones because you'll bet totals a lot more than I do.
Hey, I just got a breaking alert from the man, Johnny himself.
What did he say?
Bobby Liggs, 67% in NFL this season, 34-17, which is utterly absurd. 34-17. I can't even comprehend that.
He went 6-1 on Sunday because I put in his golden nugget plays for him. And he was like, we should parlay them for $100 and just see what happens. 6-1. I was like, woo, we're going shopping.
Yeah, well, he's the $2 Tuesday at WagerTalk.com. He's got an NFL total of the week up, locked and loaded. You can get it at WagerTalk.com Tuesday. Only Tuesday for $2. Today.
Tuesday. Yes.
So head over to WagerTalk.com and get that play for $2. No coupon required. Kelly, we got a boot. We're going to do the fastest show we've ever done. Quick promo, and then we're going to get into the card. I got a funeral right after this, which is brutal. My sister-in-law's mother passed away out of the blue. The whole family is deeply upset. I'm racing to a funeral. Then I got to go to a Shiva. So we really got to race through this show. Real quick, guys, I'm going to have a 5-pack of NFL plays this Sunday. 2 of them are already up. One of them is one of my 5 stars, which I'm 8-3 on. And you can get the whole 5-pack for $15. Use the promo code Prez NFL15. Prez NFL15. Head over to Wager Talk, $15. Use that coupon code. Kel, I hand the show over to you. We're going to do the entire card in the next 20 minutes. Go.
All right, let's start with Thursday night. Jacksonville, total 37.5. Lots of 4s around town here in favor of Tennessee. I don't want to touch this game. An ugly Thursday night game. Jacksonville, I actually ended up playing on Sunday just as a complete contrarian play. I heard 91% of the tickets at one of the books here in town was on the Colts, and I said, fine, I'll take the 4 with Jacksonville. And, insanity. The defense got it done.
Well, Jalen Ramsey got it done. Kel, last week I told you Jacksonville's season is over, but they're going to get up for these division games, and they're going to start playing spoiler. I told you Jacksonville was the play last week. And, I lean on Jacksonville again this week as well. We spoke about, Tennessee against the Jets last week, and I told you this team is struggling to score. And as a result, I'm not going to take them as a medium to large favorite. And here we go again. Can Tennessee win the game? Sure. But to put up more than 4.5 points against Jacksonville is going to be tough. I think Jacksonville is going to come to play this week, and I like Jacksonville plus the 4.5. I really do not have an opinion on the total. Oh,
yep.
Kel.
Yes.
I got abused by everyone for picking the Giants last week. It seems 90% of our listeners are Bears fans. I expect an apology from each and every one of you. Go on.
That was a great call on the Giants. I did not have the guts to do it, but I told everybody there's no way I'm laying road chalk with the Bears. Okay, Baltimore at Kansas City. This is one of the more fishy games of the week. It's down to 6.5 now. Total of 53 in most spots here in Vegas. Listen, Lamar Jackson's playing great, but he's kind of in this little bubble now. With he went to concussion protocol, Joe Flacco's hurt. They really don't want to go to RG3, I don't think. And I've been fading Kansas City as of late. I took the Raiders plus 15 on Sunday, just again as a contrarian type play, and I was pissed off at the Lions for blowing that cover for me. But here's a spot where I think I like Kansas City, but the money's moving the other way.
I agree with you on Kansas City. And last week I told you on this show to take the over in the Oakland KC game. And it went way over. And you know what, Kel, I like the over again here. But I do like Kansas City more than the over. If you look deep into Lamar's numbers, he ran the ball 17 times last week. He also only threw for about 160 yards in total. So this is not a quarterback that's getting it done in the pocket by any stretch. And the running quarterbacks, the teams start to catch up to them and start putting a spy on them. With Justin Houston coming out of the, playing in the front four for Kansas City. Their defense they're not good, but they match up nicely against a running quarterback. I do like Kansas City minus the 7. I think it's a short number, even though Baltimore needs to win these games. They're another week without Kareem Hunt. Spencer Ware is a good running back.
Yeah, but they just pick up Chandrick West, and he played for the Chiefs before, so I think he's going to be able to fill in. Plus, getting rid of Hunt, I think, got rid of some of the drama. And that was another reason why I took Oakland plus 15. Whenever you have drama surrounding your team, it's always a distraction, whether people want to admit it or not.
So it's not drama, it's drama.
Drama?
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 What the hell's a drama?
It's like... Prez, I swear you're Canadian English.
Yeah, Canadian English. You mean like English? Kansas City minus the 7 is the play for me as well, Kel.
All right, we just talked about Indianapolis here for a second. They're now headed on the road to Houston, getting 4.5 total, 48.5. I think it was an interesting game. I think the Jacksonville defense needs a little bit more credit, but people remember what they saw last. Houston beating up on the Browns, Indianapolis losing at the Jags. I'm looking towards the Colts early on this week. I obviously haven't played them yet. I've only played a couple games, but we'll go over those here shortly.
Last week I told you Jacksonville would cover against Indy. I also told you Houston would cover against Cleveland. I had a good week on the video last week. And, I'm struggling on the side in this game, Kel, because I feel like the worst game Indy's played all year was last week, and the best game they might play all year might be this week. So I am scared to play on Houston here, and I'm not going to play against Houston because they're just absolutely rolling. So my play on this game is over the total of 49. Look, if you watch the Houston game, they are a run-first team, but when Deshaun Watson throws the ball, he throws it downfield. Hopkins is getting 20, 30-yard passes regularly, so they are stretching the field. It's one of those interesting things where it's like 3 yards, 5 yards, 3 yards, 2 yards, 40 yards. Touchdown. So, I think this game is going to move very quickly, and I think Indy is going to be a throw-first team as well. So, I like over the total of 49 in this football game.
All right, another interesting game. A couple of teams reeling here. Carolina laying 2 on the road at Cleveland, 47. I don't even think I want to watch this game at this point. I would like to see Cleveland get over their season win total hump, just because a lot of people were doubting them. Other than that, I have no desire to watch this game.
Real hard game to pick a side on here, Kel. I mean, I don't know what has happened to the Panthers. 4 losses in a row. The loss against Detroit was a stupid coaching decision by Rivera, who, by the way, will be out this by the end of the season.
He's got to be. I got to look and see. He's got to be one of the next coaches fired, right?
The next coach fired. And I think he gets fired if they lose this football game, frankly. And then Cam Newton with 4 interceptions against Tampa Bay. You know, now they're going into Cleveland, and look, we know Carolina is a much better team than Cleveland, and they're a much better team than what we've seen the last 4 games. But I can't bet on them right now. There must be some kind of turmoil going on in the dressing room. You know, this team is almost a one-man show with McCaffrey coming out of the backfield. With that said, Cleveland looked awful last week against Houston, but they are coming back home to play, and I feel like they want to win football games. I'm going to take over the total of 47 in this game. You know, very similar type of offense to Houston. That's what Carolina is, where they're a run-first offense, but when Cam throws the ball, he throws it far. There's no dinks and dunks like a New England type of an offense where it's 6 yards, 8 yards. You know, Cam is stretching the field, and if he throws, if he plays a clean game, I think Carolina's going to put up 24-28, and I think Cleveland will keep pace. So I like over the total of 47 points.
Okay, I'll keep this one quick, but here is a really good comment. I'm going to mix it up, like some funny comments, some good comments, whatever. But like the show, come for picks and analysis, which is great value, although it's appealing to listen to a lady who knows about sports and likes Wager Talk, action. In parentheses, that's easy on the eyes. As a long time better, it'd be fascinating to bring an odds maker on the show, since you guys are looking for suggestions, and listen to what goes on behind the scenes in the line-making process, including public sentiment. So I'm going to give Chris Skelton some wager bucks to use over at Wager Talk, and then I have a funny one that we'll give out next. But we'll move on along to the next game because Prez has stuff to do today. Atlanta. God, Atlanta. What is going on in hot Atlanta? They're still on my do not bet list. Are they still on your do not bet list?
They are dead to me. I do not discuss Atlanta. Kelly, make sure to let everybody know who we're giving wager bucks to. Email Missy at WagerTalk.com. Let her know. I don't think you said how many wager bucks, so $30 worth of wager bucks for you, Chris. Email Missy at WagerTalk.com. Give her your YouTube name, but also make sure you have set up an account at WagerTalk.com. You know, Kel, this Atlanta game is really tough to handicap from all levels.
I agree.
You know, Green Bay fired McCarthy.
Right. So how do you take that into account? Does the team get up? Are they happy McCarthy's gone?
Yes.
I haven't heard anything from the locker room. I have to think Aaron Rodgers has got to be sick of McCarthy.
I think Aaron Rodgers is doing a jig right now. He's probably calling his family and making up with them. I'm so curious to know what happened. Like,
I'm going to tell you what happened, but I can't tell you on the show. I told everybody the other day, and people's mouths like hit the floor.
Why can't you tell us on the show? What, did Aaron confide in you?
No, I worked with the guy. I don't want to start spreading rumors. I will call you, and then we can talk about it next week on the show if you think it's appropriate. How about that?
Done.
Okay.
I think Green Bay gets up for this game, Kelly, but, you know, -6 is too big a number for me here. They're clearly a run-first team right now with Aaron Jones. Their defense is playing better, and you just don't know what's going to happen with Atlanta. I mean, again, 16 points last week. That means 3 field goals instead of 3 touchdowns. Is Atlanta going to close in the red zone? Aren't they going to close in the red zone? I got nothing. I don't like the total. I don't like the side. Let's move on.
Okay, good idea. another game. This is going to be a good game, I think. An 8 seems like a lot on the road. New Orleans, obviously, off that loss at Dallas. Tampa Bay off a nice win. But catching 8 at home, total 56 for the Bucs. I did play the Cowboys Thursday night, but I have gotten ran over by New Orleans several times this year. But in a nice divisional game, New Orleans has got to get that one back from week 1, though, over Tampa Bay.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, yeah, there's a revenge factor involved, although I don't believe in revenge factors in the NFL. But clearly New Orleans, what they want to do is get the taste out of that disaster performance in Dallas out of their mouth. And now they are a game back for home field advantage against the Rams, which is literally could come down to the Super Bowl. They have to win out here, and they've still got 2 games against Carolina. I think New Orleans wins this football game, but Kelly, with Tampa Bay's offense the way it is, with all their weapons, this game has backdoor cover written all over it. I like Tampa Bay plus the 8 points, and I like over the total as well, Kelly. I think we're going to get a rolling New Orleans Saints team. I see this game going way into the 60s. And Tampa Bay's offense can keep up with anybody. So I like over the total in this game, and I do like the Bucs, and I see a backdoor cover. New Orleans up by 14 or whatnot with 2 to go. Tampa with the ball, prevent defense in effect. Tampa scores a late touchdown. New Orleans wins by 6 or 7. Tampa Bay covers, but I love the over in this game, even though it's up to 56.
Okay, this guy's funny. I want to give him wager bucks just because he needs to work on grammar. Since this is a grammar show, since you and I are always making fun of each other's quote-unquote English, I love
It's not a grama show?
Grama. I love how real you guys keep it! Exclamation, exclamation, you idiots. LOL. I'm still listening to you. So I'm not sure who he's referring to, but I think we need to give him some wager bucks because he needs some help. Chris Grays, email Missy at WagerTalk.com. Tell her your WagerTalk account number and or username, and she's going to give you $30 in wager bucks. I'm going to write that on his screen right now, but I just thought it was funny because I get really stressed out on social media when people type in one big sentence. And yeah, that's what that is. It's like we don't use punctuation and we don't, it drives me nuts.
Okay.
There you go.
We're enough with the English lessons, especially from you. Kelly, do me a favor as I need to leave the second the show is over. Make sure to email Missy and tell her what the hell is going on.
I will. I'll send her a text. All right, New York Jets, total 38.5 at Buffalo. Buffalo laying 3.5, 3 minus 120 in some spots. I don't know what to make of this game either. The Jets had a chance on Sunday, and they just kind of squandered it away as 9.5-point dogs.
Yeah, look, this is one of those games where we've got 2 really bad teams, but Buffalo is fighting, Kelly, and they almost went down the field in the last minute against Miami and won that football game. I mean, that catch at the end there, it hit the ground by a millimeter, and if he caught the ball, they were first and goal from the 5 to win the game. So I'm going to take Buffalo because Buffalo is playing with a lot of moxie. This is a team that they have no stars on defense at all, and yet their defense is playing outstanding. I think the New York Jets have packed it in. I'm going to take Buffalo minus the 3, and in keeping with crappy teams going over the total when they play against each other, I'm going to take over the total as well. So Buffalo and the over.
Okay. A game where I always seem to love to bet against Tom Brady because he's always laying a ton of points on the road. Listen, I know I took the Vikings last week, and for the first...
I took New England, and I released them to my customers.
I know you did. And I stepped in front of the December Foxborough freight train. Okay, but now they're going on the road to Miami, laying 8.
Too big a number.
I'm probably going to be on the Dolphins because I hate myself.
Well, I don't bet against Tom Brady, so I won't be on the Dolphins. But there's no chance in hell I'm playing New England in this spot. This is a very tough spot for New England. They've still got Pittsburgh coming up. They have to win the game, though, to keep in pace for home field advantage. Second home field advantage. But look, we've got an interesting game on the schedule with San Diego and Kansas City coming soon. San Diego wins that game and New England sweeps. All of a sudden, New England's got home field advantage all the way through, and I wouldn't want to go to Foxborough in late December or January. So I like the Patriots to win this game, but there's no chance I'm laying 8 points. You know what I really like in this game, Kelly, is under the total of 47. What we're seeing now with New England is we're seeing their offense sort of resemble what their offense looked like 5 or 6 years ago, where Brady's just not throwing downfield a lot. You're seeing this sort of pass-run program where instead of running the ball for 5 yards, he's just throwing the ball for 5 yards. New England is playing ball control football right now. We saw it against Minnesota. I think, and their defense is playing outstanding right now. I think 47 is a big number. I'll be very surprised if Miami can put 3 touchdowns in against the Pats. So I'm going to play under the total of 47.
All right. I don't hate that, but here's a game I already played. Chicago was catching 3.5 at home to the LA Rams. Listen, the Rams hadn't covered but one game in 7 weeks. So I played the Lions plus 10, and 2 weeks in a row, I get a big fist through my bankroll from Matthew Stafford. First time he throws a pick six. Next time he throws an interception in the end zone. I do think this Rams they're a great team, especially offensively. I think they're a great team. But this is going to be one of the better defenses they face this year, especially coming off that loss. Mitch Trubisky's back. I took Chicago plus 3.5 at home. It's now 3 minus 120 if you want to bet the Rams. I wouldn't be surprised to see this one get to 2.5 if enough money pushes it down. Total 52.5. Prez, what are your thoughts?
Well, I don't mean to sound square here, Kelly, and I understand Chicago's defense is really good. I mean, so good that the New York Giants were only able to score 30 points on them. Only 30. The New York Giants, Eli Manning, 30 points on the Chicago Bears' vaunted defense. Well, they remind me a lot of the Chicago 85 team, 30 points by Eli freaking Manning. Chicago's defense is good on paper. I mean, Mac is amazing.
Khalil.
But I mean, come on here. We got Donald and Sue on the other side. We've got Todd Gurley coming out of the backfield. Robert Woods catching passes. Jared Goff had a terrible game against Detroit, and they still covered. Granted, with a turnover at the end. But seriously, Kel, when is this incredible Chicago defense going to show up?
Seem to show up more at home more than anything. They show the only issue I have is Mitch Trubisky. He makes me nervous. He cannot match scores with Jared Goff. But
no chance. And
if this defense can stop the run, and they can possibly get a defensive turnover and or score, I think they can win this game.
Yeah, I just don't see it, Kelly. Ask yourself this question. What's the bare minimum points that the Rams are going to put up this week? 28, 31?
28, yeah.
And you're going to count on Chicago to keep lockstep with them? This vaunted defense at home let Minnesota, who couldn't score if you gave them the end zone.
Yeah, but that's just because they were playing prevent at the end.
Oh, come on. They let the last few games, New York Giants put up 30. Detroit put up 16. Okay, that's pretty bad, but Detroit stinks. Minnesota put up 20. Detroit put up 22. New England in Chicago put up 31 points.
Well, that's because Mitch just,
Yeah, it's because. But the bottom line is this defense is not all world. And the Rams' offense are all world. I'm taking the Rams in this game. It's the squarest play I know, but these two teams are not nearly in the same league. I can't see Chicago covering, but I can see all the negative comments that I have just created. Next game.
Oh, God, you're hilarious. Okay, next game. Let's see. New York Giants at Washington. I mean, Giants laying 3.5 on the road. Why? Because Eli had a great game against that prolific Bears defense.
Well, it's not only that. Who the hell's their quarterback?
That's my point. Washington, you want me? I was sitting there 14-13 going, you know what? Life's not so bad right now. I'm holding a +6 ticket. Enter Mark Sanchez, and I was like, well, this is like, I literally tweeted.
He did make one good throw. He did make one good throw.
He made one. And then did you play that game when you were a kid where you just threw the football up and you're like, this one's worth 500 points?
No, it hit his hand. The defensive lineman hit his arm. It wasn't as bad as it looked.
I'm talking about where Floyd had an opportunity to catch it, and there was like 5 players within it was like he threw up a Hail Mary. It was terrible. Right before the end of the half.
Every ball that comes out of Mark Sanchez's hands is called a Hail Mary.
Yeah, well, I'm not betting on someone who throws Hail Marys, okay? Unless your name is Aaron Rodgers. That is the only person I'm betting on that throws Hail Marys. That's it.
Nor am I, Kelly, but I do like the under in this football game. It's 41 points. And New York Giants are playing a real defense this week, one that won't let in 30 points, Chicago Bear fans. I think this game is going to go under the total. Washington is tough to run against. We saw it last night. And, Washington now with Mark Sanchez is not only going to be a run-first team, they're going to be a run-only team. So I think 41 points is a big number in this spot, and I like under the total.
All right, Denver playing much better ball. All of a sudden, 3-game winning streak. I'm going to get that over 7 wins. I'm super happy to kind of salvage the last crappy few weeks I've had. But Denver laying 5.5 at San Fran. Listen, Chubb, Miller, they're going to ruin Nick Mullins' life. Like, this kid has just been – he had one great game, and I bet him, and I have not touched it since.
Yeah, look, it's going to be a tough game for the San Fran quarterback, and San Fran has definitely sort of, put the brakes on their season. I think it's a tough spot for Denver, though, Kel.
Yeah, I'm not laying the 5.5.
Yeah, 5.5.
I don't lay road chalk.
5.5 is a tough.
We thought last week that at Cincy it was going to be a tough spot. The Broncos don't play well on the road. They really haven't.
They looked really good against Cincy. But Cincy's run defense is so bad, and everyone expected Lindsey to put up close to 200, and he did.
He did.
I think the play here, Kel, is on under the total of 44.5 points. I think we're going to see both teams running the ball a ton. Denver is still in the mix for a wild card position, so if they get up, they're going to slow this game down to a crawl. And I cannot see San Fran putting up more than 13 to 16 points in this football game. I'm worried about Denver putting up 21 here. So I actually am going to play under 44.5. I think that's one of the best plays. I think that's one of the best plays on the board.
I agree. I absolutely agree with you. Last week I played the under early because I wasn't going to lay the road chalk with the Broncos, and I virtually had no sweat. Towards the end there, when the Broncos scored there late, I was like, this could get a little dicey. Nope, no sweat. Okay, total 48. Cincinnati versus the Chargers, or at the Chargers. Chargers, 14.5. We're starting to see pop up here in Vegas, and for good reason. Jeff Driscoll's their quarterback. I mean, we saw him last week, and the Chargers had a nice comeback win at Pittsburgh. I leaned Chargers earlier in the week. I leaned Pittsburgh then, and I was like, you know what? I'm just going to play the over. And sure enough, had no sweat on the over.
Yeah, and I played Pittsburgh on Sunday, and they lost, and the Chargers did not really look that great. And I've been a huge fan of the Chargers. I mean, their first touchdown was a blatant, obvious false start. Their second touchdown was an interception that was then pushed out of the guy's hands in Pittsburgh by the other Pittsburgh player. Ball popped up, landed right in Keenan Allen's hands. Their third touchdown was a kick return. I can't take 14 points here with the Chargers, Kel. My lean is actually on Cincinnati. But what I do like is under the total of 48, Kel. The Chargers struggled to score against Pittsburgh last week. Even though they put up a big number, I explained 3 of those touchdowns. And the Chargers they have to keep winning because they have a chance to win the division with KC up next. I like the dog and I like the under. We got to move on, Kel.
All right, Detroit, as we talked about earlier, Matthew Stafford, thank you for not covering that number. Now laying 2.5 at Arizona, who just upset Green Bay, and is the reason why Mike McCarthy got fired. Total 40.5. This is like an ugly game I don't want to touch.
I'm just going to tell you I like under the total of 40.5. I think this game is going to be a very low-scoring game. Let's go.
Okay. Philadelphia got the win last night, but I also thought it was fraudulent. Again, Mark Sanchez, yada, yada, whatever. Total 43 at Dallas. Now down to 3.5. This line was 4 prior to the game yesterday. And I knew we'd see Philly money come in. So I told my buddies, if you want to bet Dallas, just hang tight. I do think Dallas is playing better ball. We saw them going to Philly and play really good ball. I'm leaning towards Dallas initially early on this week.
I disagree with you completely here, Kelly. Look, Dallas, yes, they're playing much better football, and their defense played outstanding against New Orleans. But again, they only put up 13 points against New Orleans. Their offense is just not great. Amari Cooper has made a huge impact by stretching the field and opening up some area in the box for Zeke. And instead of Zeke getting 5-yard runs now, we're seeing 7s and 9s. But Philadelphia is feeling good after that win against Washington. They are in position to win the division if they can sweep. I think they're still the champs. They actually did look good last night, Kelly. You know, it was not an ugly win. They got stopped on 4th down, which could have been a touchdown. They threw an interception in the end zone, which could have been a touchdown. They moved the ball up and down the field on a good Washington defense. I've got a hook in this game, Kelly, and I'm going to take it. I like Philly at plus 3.5 points.
All right, Pittsburgh at Oakland. We just saw our first 10.5 pop up. Looks like for some reason people want to bet the Raiders. I don't blame them. They had a good divisional game last week, but again, that was against Kansas City. This is now against a good Pittsburgh team that's off a loss, total 51.5, but now they're off back-to-back losses, going on the road to play Oakland. I'm not laying points. I'm not taking points, but I kind of like this over. I mean, the Steelers overs have seemed to be really well.
And Oakland's offense looked good last week against Kansas City, and clearly their offense has not given up on the season. So I like the over in this game as well. There's no chance I'm laying 11 points, and I'm not taking 11 either. My play, just like yours, is on over the total.
Real quick, Greg Herman with 2 ends. I'm not going to read your comment. It's great. Email Missy at WagerTalk. Let's talk about the Monday night game. Minnesota catching 3.5 now at Seattle. Total 45. I played Seattle -3. Listen, the Vikings have been great. I love Coach Zimmer. The Vikings have been not playing great, even though they have been great historically for me against the spread. I need to take a break from this team a little bit, and Seattle has been printing money the last 7 weeks, and I'm going to take them here with a field goal at home.
And also, and you can get this info from Ralph, I don't know offhand, but Seattle at home in December is like as close to free money as you can get, and here we go again. The Seattle team is playing outstanding. And, you know, Kirk Cousins is just not the same Kirk Cousins as he was a year ago. I agree with you 100% here, Kelly. I have to take Seattle -3. And I do like over the total of 45 points as well. Kel, that's the show. I got to run, girl. I got a terrible day ahead of me. Listeners, thank you all so much for all your comments. You know I try to respond to almost every one of you. Make sure to hook me up at Twitter, Prez WagerTalk. Also at Kelly in Vegas for her Twitter. Thanks so much for watching. I think, Kelly, has hooked up a bookmaker for my daily show
Yes,
tomorrow.
You should have Tony Miller tomorrow. I'm not sure. You guys got to work out what time you guys are going to shoot, but Tony's always a good time. You guys haven't seen Tony. He's definitely good for the belly laughs.
Okay, guys, thanks so much for watching. Be good. Thanks, Kel. We'll see you all next week.